Good afternoon. My name is Luke Willingham, and I'm the Senior Patrol Leader of Troop 114. We welcome and thank you all for attending this National Eagle Scout Court of Honor for Matt, Chewy, Clark. Nice job. Nice. Would everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance? Color Guide, present the colors. Scout salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Guests, please be seated. Would all Scouts remain standing to recite the Scout Oath? Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. 2. Scouts, please be seated. I'll go behind you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rick Spur. I'm the committee chair of Troop 114 here in Shrewsbury. I welcome you today and thank you for attending this National Eagle Scout Court of Honor for Matt Chewy Clark, our 157th Eagle Scout. I will serve as your Master of Ceremonies at today's Court of Honor. Under the rules and regulations of the Boy Scouts of America, Troop 114 has the authority to confer upon its members all ranks of scouting except that of Eagle. Only the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America may confer the rank of Eagle upon a Boy Scout. Therefore, on behalf of the Heart of New England Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I hereby declare this National Court of Honor to be duly convened. It's my privilege to take a moment and recognize some honored guests and participants today. Mr. Chris Baker, President of the Heart of New England Council. Chris, thanks for being here. Mr. Mark Barbernitz, Scout Executive of the Heart of New England Council. Mark, thank you. Cameron Guerra, District Executive of the Heart of New England Council of the BSA. I was supposed to be saying of the BSA for each of those. I apologize. I wasn't following the script. Mr. John Samia, Chair of the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen. Angela Snell, Town of Shrewsbury Superintendent of Public Facilities and Parks. Kevin Esposito, Town of Shrewsbury Parks Division Manager. Kevin Nemzick, President of the Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse League. Sergeant Obi and Sergeant Lingcourt of the Marine Corps, excuse me. David Trophy from the Marine Corps League Worcester Detachment. And Dan Lyons, past Scoutmaster of Troop 114. Thank you all for joining us today and for attending and participating in today's ceremony. Chewy, I've just received word that we started the Court of Honor in the wrong place. We have to move 10 feet this way. That was a project joke, sorry. I would now like all Eagle Scouts present to please rise. Oh, this one's going to take a while. I would like you to please tell us your name, the year you became an Eagle Scout, your troop number, and where it was located. I'll start. Rick Spur, Troop 13, Needham, Massachusetts, 1984.
Lyons, 1976, Troop 189 in Lacrosse, New York. Rick Gill, Troop
Oh, up high.
Axel Bosner, Troop 114, Shrewsbury, Mass. 2021. Thomas Ryan, Troop 114, Shrewsbury, Mass. 2021.
Max Fire, Troop 114, Shrewsbury, 2021.
Thank you all. It's my pleasure to now introduce Gwen Molina, Scoutmaster of the new Troop 7114, to speak about the role of leadership in the journey to Eagle Scout. Gwen?
The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the value of the Scout Oath and Scout Law. Troop 114 was first chartered in 1916 here at the First Congregational Church of Shrewsbury. For more than 100 years, we've been providing boys in Shrewsbury and surrounding communities with the opportunity to participate in scouting activities. Troop 114 is one of the largest and most active troops in the heart of New England Council, with enrollment of nearly 85 scouts. Scout skills, moreover life skills, service, and leadership are the cornerstones of the scouting program. Leadership is not defined by one's rank or the patch on one's sleeve. Leadership is only achieved when one acts not in one's own interest, but in the interest of the group. A true leader is one whom others follow willingly because of a proven set of capabilities and a shared respect and trust between the leader and his group. Over the past several years in Boy Scouts, Chewie has had the opportunity to interact with many great leaders around the world, and he has proven himself to be a true leader in his school as well as in the community in addition to scouting. Matthew, Chewie, I challenge you to use what scouting has taught you. Be a great leader in all aspects of your life.
Thank you, Mrs. Molina. No, it says right here, Rick introduces. I would now like to introduce Mike Kramer, Assistant Scoutmaster of Troop 114, to talk about the Trail to Eagle. Mike?
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Chewie, for asking me to be part of your Court of Honor. I am the voice of the eagle whose heights you have struggled to reach. I remember when you came to the base of the cliff and how you looked up with ambition and determination. Look back at the experiences you have encountered in your ascent. These experiences should not be forgotten. Do you remember when you took your first step on the Eagle Trail? With those first steps, you began to build yourself physically, mentally, and morally. You started living the Scout Oath and Law. Soon you learned the symbolism inherent in the Scout badge. You learned that there are 3 parts of the trefoil, which stand for the 3 parts of the Scout Oath: duty to God and country, duty to other people, and duty to yourself. You learned of 2 important ideals in scouting: truth and knowledge. These are symbolized by 2 stars on either side of the badge. These stars are like those of the great outdoors, which you have enjoyed on hikes and campouts. In adding the eagle to the shield of the United States, you are further reminded of your duty to country. You pledge to support and preserve its freedom. Pointing skyward is the sign of the North. Taken from the mariner's compass, it is a reminder of your duty to God and your obligation to respect the religious convictions of others. From here, the trail led through basic outdoor skills to the 2nd-class rank. This badge, with corners of the scroll turned up and a scout smile, admonished you to be prepared. The overhand knot reminds you of your daily good turn. At this point on the trail, some stopped to catch their breath before continuing, but you began to study more and work harder. Almost before you knew it, you became a 1st-class scout. The badge you received is a combination of both tenderfoot and 2nd class, reminding you that there is much more to being a scout than just attending meetings. Here you attempted to remain, but your ambition stirred you on. The variety of merit badges gave your interest free rein. You took the lead, showing others the way. It didn't take long before the first obstacle on the trail had been overcome. You were then a Star Scout. The life rank was reached more slowly. The trail had become steeper and merit badges harder. Fewer scouts seemed headed in your direction. You looked back and saw crowds behind you. You looked up and saw the few above, and with the same determination with which you had started your climb, you continued up the trail. You learned that leadership was leading, not driving or pushing. Example is best. The life rank is symbolized by a heart with the first-class badge, the badge of scouting, imposed thereon. At this point, the trail became tougher, but also more interesting. The original principles, the Scout Oath and Law, now had fuller meaning. Your understanding of them was much greater. As a result, your character unfolded. You became more of a man. Your leadership ability expanded into a valuable asset. Your mind developed and your wisdom increased. Now you stand at the top of the mountain. It is not the end of the trail, nor is it the beginning. Almost your whole life lies ahead of you. Your part in our country's upbringing from the past may be small, and your claim to distinction and honor may rest on no basis at all. But the future is for your own choosing. From your action, the judgment must come. The need of your service is greater than ever. When the drama is finally ended and the curtain is lowered at last, you must rest on the things you have accomplished, not the dreams of the past. Hear now the voice of the eagle.
I'm the eagle. I am prepared to stand for virtue with freedom, strength, and pride. I am the eagle. I am prepared to serve my God, my country, and my people. I am the eagle. I am prepared to stand for honesty, truth, and integrity. I am the eagle. I am prepared to lead others to accomplish that task to the best of my ability. I am the eagle. I am prepared to defend and make America great for all people. I am the eagle. I am prepared to cross all lines of race, creed, and nationality. I am the eagle. I am prepared to be self-reliant and resourceful. I am the eagle. I am prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer, Tom, Axel. There are many steps required in order to attain the rank of Eagle Scout. An expectation of active participation and service in troop meetings and events. I'll give you a check there. Achievement of 7 distinct rank advancements. Scout must earn a minimum of 21 merit badges, 12 of them specified as required by the BSA. Looking pretty good, Chewy. Talking for 10 hours nonstop while paddling a canoe through northern Maine. You earned that one. Execute multiple leadership positions. Additionally, a scout must plan, develop, and provide leadership in the completion of a service project helpful to a religious institution, school, or community organization. A project plan must meet specific guidelines and be approved by the group benefiting from the effort, followed by the Scoutmaster, troop committee, and then finally approved by the local BSA council prior to the project beginning. This process is designed to be challenging as it directs scouts outside their normal comfort zone. The scout must convert a conceptual idea into a tangible project, defining the initial details of the project, coordinating with benefactors and various committees, navigating the inevitable surprises and changes that occur along the way, and ultimately demonstrating flexibility, probably about 10 feet of flexibility, and leadership in order to execute his plan. I would now like to introduce Kevin Nemzick, President of Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse, to comment on Matthew's Eagle Scout project.
Kevin Nemzick, Pound Ridge Troop 1, second class, early to mid-70s. I don't even know if you knew, Chewy, that I was a scout, but I was, and I was going to say you've aged a lot better than your troop here, so congratulations for that. I was thrilled to see the young men walk in, and I thought this was it. I did grow up a scout. I was a scout for years, a Cub Scout, Weeblo, Boy Scout. And in the small town I grew up in, there wasn't much else to do. So scouting was a big part of my life, and it taught me a lot of the core values that my church and family also taught. So I am honored to be here today. I'm representing the Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse League, of which we are the benefactor of Chewy's scouting, his Eagle Scout project. He built a shed for us to store equipment on site. Angela and Kevin, I know you were a big part of helping out, and I did get that 10-foot joke in the beginning, although I wasn't there that day, fortunately. That's how I met Chewy, was through Scouts and through this church right here. Years ago, I've probably known you at least half your life, maybe more. And in fact, I was honored when Chewy asked me to sponsor him for his confirmation right on this altar right here, not too many years ago. It's starting to occur to me that I'm kind of stuck with you for a while, huh? It's keep coming back. But I'm honored to be again here with you and your family. Chewy was a lacrosse player with Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse, still is, but the young Chewy is where I met him. He was a goalie, which is such an important role because there's not a lot of young goalies. But more importantly, people knew him because he was this guy who brought this energy, this joy of the game, every day to every practice, every effort, every smile. It was just a fun guy to be around. And to me, and if there's any parents of young kids in here, that's what sports is all about. Your kid comes home, don't ask him what the score was. Don't ask him if he won. Until you ask him, did you have a good time? Chewy knows, right? The goal of the game is to put more points on the board, but the object of the game is to be able to celebrate the ability to compete and enjoy. And Chewy, that's what you brought to it every day. In fact, in 8th grade, the final year of Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse, we give an award every year to the 8th grader who really exemplified the spirit of the game. And it was a unanimous hands-down vote by all the coaches involved. Then Chewy won that award that year, and decidedly so. It was easy. So congrats on that. This shed is going to be, well, first of all, we've been renting a container for $110 a month. It's going to save us, $1,200 a year in and year out. It allows us to protect our equipment, which we are a not-for-profit, all-volunteer group. It helps, too. All that stuff is in a shed right now being protected from the elements, when normally it would have been sitting outside or cost us money for that. So it is a huge help. Thank you. And it's going to be there for years and years. And it just exemplifies what we try to teach at Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse, which is we talk about our kids being student, athlete, citizens. And this is a citizenry part. This is giving back to the town, to your group, to something you've even left, graduated from, but you're still giving. And we appreciate that. So thank you for that. I think in closing, I'll say if somebody said describe Chewy in 12 words or less, I would say he's trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Congratulations.
Thank you, Coach Nemi. It's now my pleasure to introduce Don Icardi, Assistant Scoutmaster of Troop 114, to share his personal reflections on Matthew and his scouting experience.
You're next, Mr. Clark, after I get done with Matthew, but that'll be fine. So Matthew, feeling pretty good about yourself? Okay, let's get to work then. Matthew, the Manus Clark family, and honored guests. That's a lot better. The leaders meet the scouts once they join at a very young age. Some young scouts are confident, some are shy and nervous. In the end, no matter what their personality is, it's what they do with the opportunity of progressing through the scouting program that matters. I have a vivid memory of a PLC meeting downstairs in the basement of this wonderful church, during which the scouts were trying to organize patrols for the upcoming year. I was very impressed over Matt's comments about who should go where with who, helpful comments about who is friends with who or didn't get along that were incorporated into the organization of the patrols that year. It was very impressive to listen to Matt's observations even at a young age. And progress he did all the way up to senior patrol leader. Now he did so even though he endured a tsunami of ribbing and kidding from the assistant scoutmasters. I never participated in any of that, of course. We made fun of his many haircuts, his proclivity from wearing sunglasses seeming 24 hours a day, his passion to try every contact sport known to man, even though after being injured, while citing his favorite four-letter word, ESPN. Somehow he withstood from seeing his first car, the one with the stickers and all, one that he drove proudly and defiantly, even though it was christened with the deepest respect by the assistant scoutmasters as the clown car. Matt would just grin and shrug it off and all these attacks and just keep on doing his thing. His love of college football was very impressive. I once commented to him that college football's most famous conference, the Southeastern Conference, or SEC, after I told him that it actually stood for Students Evade Class, but of course that didn't disillusion Matt. He took in all the in-jokes, smirked back at us, and ignored the noise. Chewy was always up for a challenge, and your love of the campouts and many other scouting trips led you to many adventures, becoming involved as an NYLT counselor, as well as your participation on the high adventure trips, and a very, very memorable turn as senior patrol leader. Earlier today, we heard how much work and effort you put into today's achievement. It was also mixed with a proportion of fun. You will find that the notion of time and what you did with it has a funny way of changing over the years. And if things get a little too pompous about that ratio, just remember to quote the late great Charlie Watts, the stylish drummer of the seminal English rock band, the Rolling Stones. When the Rolling Stones celebrated the 25th anniversary of the band, Charlie wasn't having any of the kudos thrown their way. He soon remarked, remaining unimpressed to his core, saying, "It was actually 5 years of work and 20 years of sitting around." So today is a celebration of your years of hard work, but you will always treasure all the years of fun that you had in scouting. Matt always set a lively tone at summer camp. One of my very favorite memories is from one summer at Yagu. One neighboring troop issued a sports challenge to Troop 114. In front of dozens of scouts, he marched to the front of the mess hall and accepted the challenge from that troop with a defiant "to the death," which led to an approving roar from the Troop 114 scouts and leaders. Now, Matt's tent at summer camp was usually one of the most boisterous at night with loud card games. When one of the assistant scoutmasters would show up to quiet things down, when things got a little loud, and if you gave Matt a look that said, "Hey, let's keep it down, let's keep it quiet in here," you knew that without saying anything, he got the message, nodded, and then when things got after 3 or 4 minutes, things would start rising right back up again. But the mornings were a little rough, weren't they, Matt, the next time? So Troop 114 is very blessed to have so many Eagle Scouts as part of the adult leadership and troop committee. Their example of giving back to the generation coming behind them, the future leaders of our community and country, shows that their appreciation of what the scouting program has done for them in their lives and careers. Now that you have joined them as a fellow Eagle Scout, I am confident that you will understand over time the deeper meaning of that legacy. Many Scouts learn so much about their love of country and service to the community while they progress through the scouting program. You have learned and grown so much over the years. Finding out that constant improvement and lifelong learning is the true course
which makes sense since you are the son of two dedicated administrators and educators. Your tenure as a scout spanned two different Troop 114 Scoutmasters, Mr. Spur, as well as, ironically, your own father. You have often been reminded by Mr. Spur and the Assistant Scoutmasters and the committee that scouting is an opportunity to try new things outside your comfort zone, sometimes failing and then trying again, confident that learning these lessons as a scout will be incredibly helpful to you in the years ahead as an adult. The Eagle Scout project can provide a window into what is important to the scout. We know that the selection of the storage shed, or chateau, for Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse near a field where you had practiced and competed over the years was very important to you. It was a very ambitious project, one with many challenges. Not everything went as planned or as smoothly as you would like. All of the Eagle Scout projects are special in their own way, and I think the decision to do that project there told us a lot about you. The years you spent as a competitor in lacrosse served as an important part of your personal foundation. And during that project, you learned that sometimes foundations have to be adapted, maybe about 10 feet or so, and then you have to keep moving on. You had been there for so many scouts. So when you needed help pushing through, the leaders and the other scouts were there to support you, all part of the same circle. I was honored to be able to assist Mr. Gill when you met with him as part of your final Scoutmaster conference before your Eagle Scout Board of Review. I admired the honest way you answered the questions with humility, insight, and thoughtfulness. You brought up many conversations that you had had as a young scout with older scouts and how much those conversations meant to you. I know that you repaid them by being a supporter, a sounding board, and leader for so many younger scouts over the last several years. I felt privileged to be there with you and Mr. Gill in that room, watching one respected Eagle Scout talking to a young man who is on the doorstep of becoming one. I will always treasure that memory. Your family and friends were there to redirect and encourage you along the way. I know how supportive your mom, Christina, and your sister, Maggie, were for you. Troop 114 is also thankful of your aunt, Miss Robin, for all of her efforts as well. Of course, Troop 114 is very appreciative of the contributions of your father, Ross, over the years, supporting our troop, first as an assistant scoutmaster, and now as our current scoutmaster. I am just one of the many adults here today who is grateful for his support, his counsel, his wisdom, his passion for education, and his friendship. I feel very privileged to have experienced so many experiences and hijinks with both Clarks, father and son at the same time. While today is Matt's day, we will always treasure the memories of seeing you both together at so many scouting events as father and son. Your scouting career has allowed you to weigh and ponder many of the greatest existential questions known to man. What is our true purpose in life? What is our role in harmony with nature? What is the legacy of becoming a good human being? What makes us a good leader? All serious stuff. These are big questions, Matt, so I would like to ask your help with pondering just one more question. My ultimate unanswered personal existential question, which is, what does the view from the summit of Mount Monadnock actually look like on a clear day? Please let me know the answer later if you wouldn't mind. I'm very confident that you will use the lessons learned in the scouting program, resilience, discipline, hard work, humility, leadership, service to others, that will help you in your future endeavors. Thank you so much for this invitation to share some personal reflections today, and we'll soon hear from Mrs. Owen. I want to sincerely thank you for chatting with me over the years. I always enjoyed those conversations, and they always inspired me. So thank you, Chewy. Charismatic is used to describe people who have an outgoing, energetic, and likable personality that seems to naturally draw other people to them. I think that scouting brought out in many ways your personal charisma and brought you to a whole new level. Some athletes and leaders are described to have it. I don't know how to describe the definition of it, but I know that Matthew Clark, in my book, has it. And I know in my heart he will use his many qualities, his toughness, his resiliency, his leadership, his serene engagement in what he was doing, his competitiveness, often striving for achieving something positive for something other than himself. The author Mark Twain ended his seminal American classic, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, with the words, "So endeth this chronicle. It being a history of a boy, it must stop here." The story could not go much further without becoming history of a man. Troop 114 met you when you were a young person crossing over the metaphorical bridge from Cub Scouts, but now you are a young man who is about to cross over another bridge into young adulthood, who has achieved something very special. So today, Troop 114 community poses a final question. Is Matthew Clark deserving of the rank of Eagle Scout, Scouting's highest honor? Well, some would say it's a yes or no question. But there can be no doubt of the answer without hesitation. That answer is yes. On behalf of all of us here today, warmest congratulations. Well done, Matthew.
Thank you, Mr. Icardi. It is now my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Owen, committee member, former committee chair of Troop 114 in Shrewsbury, for her personal reflections on your scouting career.
Wow, that is a tough act to follow, Don Icardi. See what I can do. In scouting, we speak a lot about scout laws and the scout oath. But there's something else that's every bit as important. During a Scoutmaster conference, the Scoutmaster will sign off on it, and then typically it's something we, in a subsequent board of review, will ask about. I'm talking about Scout spirit. It's not a tangible thing, but it's something that I like to think shines through a person's heart. In the 11 years that I've been with this troop, I've gotten to know a lot of Scouts, none of whom have more heart than Matthew. 7 years ago in the spring of 2015, the Clark family crossed over from the pack to the troop. And I say the Clark family because while Chewie became one of our new scouts, we were also very lucky to have Ross cross over with us and become an integral part of this wonderful community that we call Troop 114. But I'm not here to talk about Ross. Sorry, my friend. I'm here to talk about Chewie. That spring, this little kid with a big smile and boundless energy, which Mr. Nemzick referred to as well, came into our midst. He always walked into the meeting room with a, "Hello, how are you, Mrs. Owen?" That summer, at his first camp at Yagu, we saw a lot of similar energy. And I got to see firsthand as Chewie worked on and received his first merit badge, fingerprinting, and earn his first big rank, tenderfoot, both of which he was very excited to share with me. As anyone who has attended Camp Yagu knows, mealtimes can be a boisterous affair. And not just because there are a few hundred people eating, talking, and laughing over their meals, but because of the songs and the cheers. You know the ones. The perennial classics like the Medicine Bow song, the Webelos song, and everyone shouting, "Phone!" when the phone rings. The singing, however, is not limited to camp songs and cheers. Queen's "We Will Rock You" and even the theme from Sesame Street have been known to get everyone on their feet singing. But one song in particular never disappoints, for me at least, and that would be "Build Me Up, Buttercup." To witness everyone singing a foundation song from 1968, a song that's older than even me, all of them at the top of their lungs. If you haven't seen it, it's a sight to behold. So typically I make a day trip to participate in boards of review at summer camp. And the way the schedule works for us attending Yagu, the Friday or Saturday these boards happen is around or sometimes even on my birthday, as my son has pointed out from time to time. One particular year, he got the year of Chewy, and that I would be spending my birthday at summer camp. He also found out that Build Me Up Buttercup was one of my favorites of the dining hall. So this young man, this leader, spread the word among our campers that this was what I wanted to hear on my birthday. My boys, led by Chewy, gave me one of the best birthday presents when they got the entire dining hall singing Build Me Up Buttercup. And even now you can see it still makes me cry. It probably always will. Not in the least, Dan, not in the least. And as I've mentioned, Chewy has always had a natural talent for leading. But what I didn't know about him was he was not overly keen on public speaking. Every year on Scout Sunday, here at the First Congregational Church, the senior patrol leader is tasked with being the lay reader during the church service. And as the committee chair, it was always my responsibility to line up the SPL with a representative from the church so they could sort things out ahead of time, what Bible verses were going to be shared with the congregation. And anyone who has worked with a teenager to plan something knows that they are not always the most reliable when it comes to knowing their family's calendar of events. And as such, it's never a bad idea to have a backup lay reader in the wings, just in case. In 2019, I looked at all of our assistant senior patrol leaders trying to decide who would be the best person to approach as our backup. And one name kept coming to the top of the list, if for no other reason that he and his family are members here. So it seemed logical to me to ask Chewy to be on standby for Scout Sunday. Once I explained what I required, he immediately accepted the responsibility. Little did I know when we spoke at the time that he really was not keen on getting up and speaking in front of a large crowd. But because of the person he is, he didn't want to let me down. That, to me, is a person with great Scout spirit. In 7 years, I've watched you go from a genial little kid to this kind, spirited leader and man with a tremendous heart. It's been an honor to be a part of your story, Matthew. And I, for one, cannot wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, Mrs. Owen. You ready? You've been sitting there long enough. Get up. Please join me up here. Okay, I'd like to ask Dan Lyons, Assistant Scoutmaster, former Scoutmaster of Troop 114, to please deliver the Eagle Charge. This challenge encourages you to take what you have learned and to live your life in a way that shows the difference that your scouting experience has made in your life. Its purpose will always be to help you make a difference in the world around you. Dan?
Thank you. Chewy, thank you for including me today. The Eagle is the highest recognition offered in scouting. The wearer of the Eagle Award is the embodiment of scouting's best efforts and beliefs. Matthew, I now charge you to live your life with this in mind. Excuse me. The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a Scout is trustworthy. That Scout is trustworthy is the first point of the Scout law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because his honor is important to him, but because it's of vital significance of the example he sets for others. May the white of the Eagle badge remind you to always live with honor. The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop, to his brother Scouts, makes him pitch in and carry his share of the load. All these help to build the loyalty, which means devotion to the community, to your country, and to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the badge of the Eagle Scout always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is courage. Courage has always been a quality which men measure themselves to others. To a Scout, bravery means having the determination to stand up for what is right. He looks forward to each day, seeking to share the world's work to do. Let the red of the Eagle badge remind you always of courage. And the final responsibility of the Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil up the scouting trail, just as others help him on his climb to Eagle. The performance of a daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters more adult life, continuing service to others. He will always be prepared to put forth his best. Chewie, you deserve much credit for having achieved Eagle Sky's highest scouting award. But where you're honored with humility, ever mindful of the Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. May the Scout oath and the Scout law be your guide for tomorrow and onward.
Thank you, Mr. Lyons. Just going to let you stand right there, not go anywhere. I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but of all the Eagle, I was Scoutmaster for 10 years, and of all the Eagle Scouts and all of the senior patrol leaders, named Chewie, you're my favorite. I'd now like to introduce Chris Baker, President of the Heart of New England Council, a fellow Eagle Scout from Troop 114 and a family friend, to lead you through the Eagle Scout promise. Chris.
Thank you, Rick. So I have permission to go off script a bit from Mom. I did want to speak a little bit about Chewie. I could tell you stories about him. I've known him his entire life, but I'm going to resist that temptation. 37 years ago, I was here as a Scout receiving my Eagle Court of Honor. And I had a dear friend and a mentor named Ted Coughlin who said some words to me that have stuck to me my entire life. He said that the becoming an Eagle was not about a badge on your shirt or a bullet point on your resume. It was really something about what's inside. And really what's inside is really up to you. I can tell you that you've got an amazing, loving family who have helped you in this entire journey. You've got strong friends, you've got a good faith, you come from a great troop, you have an incredibly bright future. For me, in my heart, being an Eagle was always about having a compass, a moral compass, and following that. And I can promise you, as you move forward in life, you're going to be challenged. There are going to be some tough times, there'll be a lot of great times. You're going to be asked to make decisions and need to make the right decision. And I think it's really important that you follow what's in your own heart and you rise up to that challenge. So I have a little gift for you. It's not very expensive, by the way. My dad gave this to me when I joined Scouting, and it's a compass. It's been to Philmont, by the way, so pretty scratched up and used. But I want you to have this as a symbol of the compass that should live in your heart, and ask you to always follow what's in your heart. Now we'll get down to business. So Matthew, we're going to ask you to repeat after me. I affirm my allegiance to the promise of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibility of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training and my example, my rank and my influence, count strongly for better scouting, and for better citizenship in my troop and in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To live with honor, loyalty, courage, and service, and to be a living example of the Scout oath and law, to the best of my ability. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Matthew, by the authority vested in me by the National Court of Honor of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to announce you as an Eagle Scout. May the oath you have taken remain graven in your heart forever.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. All right, I'd now like to invite your parents. Christina and Ross, please come forward and join Matthew up here. I'd also like to invite Matthew's Eagle Advisor and Assistant Scoutmaster at Troop 114 and an Eagle Scout himself, Rick Gill. Mr. Gill?
How you doing, Chip? Everybody. As an Eagle Scout, the eyes of all scouting will be trained upon you. Let me remind you that the tradition of an Eagle Scout is high. May you always be guided by the values of scouting. May the Eagle Scout badge that you're about to receive be symbolic of the spirit of scouting. The late President and Eagle Scout Gerald Ford said, "Once an Eagle Scout, always an Eagle Scout." I'm about to get a pin, but then I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask your mom to please pin your Eagle medal on me. To symbolize the encouragement and support and boot prints your mom has provided you during your time in scouting, they're usually on the back, by the way, the boot prints. This court now asks you to present your mother with this miniature eagle. To symbolize the encouragement and your support your dad has provided you during your time in scouting, this court now asks you to present your father with this eagle lapel.
Really?
Christina and Ross, please be seated. Chewy, on behalf of the Scouts, adult leaders, and committee members of Troop 114, it's my pleasure to present to you the Eagle Scout neckerchief and neckerchief flag. says it right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I present Eagle Scout Matthew Manos Chewy Clark.
Sit down. What are you talking about? Sit down. Crazy. Congratulations, Chewy, and thank you, Mr. Gill. Okay, we now have some special presentations, some special awards, and I've got a couple of guests I'd like to invite up to present some. So, Mr. John Samia, Board of Selectmen for the town of Shrewsbury.
Thank you, and good afternoon. I am John Samia, Chair of the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today. Today marks a truly proud moment for Matthew, his family, his friends, Boy Scout Troop 114, and the Shrewsbury community. When I was looking at the statistics, only 8% of all Scouts make Eagle Scout. To achieve this, Matthew has demonstrated hard work, dedication, commitment, service to the community, and leadership, among others. You join such famous Eagle Scouts as Neil Armstrong, Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, or Steven Spielberg. There's no doubt that you will forge your own path of success. And from all the comments I'm hearing today, I look forward to when future speakers talk about famous Eagle Scouts, you will also be listed among those names. A recurring theme I hear about is leadership. Our world needs future leaders like you. Please continue to lead and uphold your oath to help others at all times. We are truly proud of you. Congratulations. I have the honor of providing two proclamations, first on behalf of our state representative, Hannah Kane, and then on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. So if I could read these real quickly for you. So the first one's on behalf of our state representative, who sends along her congratulations as well. So this is a proclamation from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts House of Representatives. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Matthew Manos Clark in recognition of earning the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout, the highest award in scouting, and for your years of outstanding service to the Boy Scouts of America and the Shrewsbury community. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given this 5th day of March 2022, signed by Ronald Mariano, Speaker of the House, and Hannah Kane, State Representative. And also, I'd like to read a proclamation from the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen in the town of Shrewsbury. From the Commonwealth of Massachusetts town of Shrewsbury to honor Matthew Manos Clark, Troop 114, for attaining the rank of Eagle, a proclamation. Whereas the vision of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare youth in America to become responsible, participating citizens and leaders who are guided by the Scout oath and law. And whereas Matthew is senior at Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School and a member of Boy Scout Troop 114, has completed the requirements and received the rank of Eagle Scout on December 15, 2021, the highest rank in the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas Matthew's Eagle Service project included building a storage shed at Lake Street Park, Shrewsbury, for the benefit of Shrewsbury Youth Lacrosse. And whereas Matthew serves as an example to youth through his high level of personal achievement, leadership, and community service, and has made the town of Shrewsbury very proud. Now therefore, it be proclaimed that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Shrewsbury hereby congratulate Matthew Manos Clark for attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Samia. I'd now like to introduce David Trophy from the Marine Corps League, the Worcester Detachment, with a presentation.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here and give this presentation to Matthew. My name is Dave Trophy. I'm the Vice Commandant of the Marine Corps League and Local 144 in Worcester. Matthew, you'll always be a member of one of the small groups coming from one of the Boy Scouts to the rank of Eagle Scout to become one of the few. And just like the Marines, like I understand you're looking to take the next step. And the Marines down here in the dress blues are going to make sure you don't get away. Earning the rank of Eagle Scout was no easy task, nor will earning the title of U.S. Marine. Both require dedication, perseverance. As in the Scouts, you will need to pass many tests in advance and achieve this new title. The achievements are not for everyone. Today, the Marine Corps makes up 14% of active duty members, less than 1% of the population of the United States. Just a few Boy Scouts earn the Eagle Scout badge as you become part of a select group that is internationally known, just like the Marine Corps is. And I share a lot of the same values as the Marines. In a couple of words, you strive to be the best at everything you do. You help those less fortunate. Honor God and country, trustworthiness, good character, dedication, and discipline. I'd like to give you this Good Citizenship Award in recognition of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, awarded on this 5th day of March in the year 2022.
I thought the plan was to let him keep holding the stuff until it got too big to, no? All right. Thank you, Mr. Trophy. And now, Troop 114 has some gifts to bestow on this occasion of your achievement of Eagle Scout as well. Your framed Eagle Scout certificate. A U.S. flag that was flown in your honor over the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. And a lifetime membership in the National Eagle Scout Association. I don't have anything for that, but... I would now like to invite you, Eagle Scout Matthew Manos Chewy Clark, to, I'm not sure where the Chewy goes, is it before? It might be before, to say a few words.
That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. All right. So, I had a speech. Not exactly sure. Is it there? Perfect.
Just talk amongst yourselves. Is that in there?
No, I got it though. Yep.
Here's the words to Build Me Up Buttercup. You could sing that.
Might just sing that. Well, first I want to thank you all for being here. I I wouldn't be here today without the support of all of you, and losing my speech allows me to say my adapted Scout motto. The Scout motto is be prepared. I say can be prepared or be prepared to just roll with it. So I'm off rolling. Looking back on my scouting career, it's been crazy, like absolutely wild just to think that I've been in this program since first grade and I'm graduating in 3 months. I've done so many amazing, crazy things, and honestly, if you told first grade me that I'd go canoeing 100 miles in the middle of nowhere, Maine, or I'd go snorkeling in the Florida Keys, or that after I graduated, I'd go hike 15 days in New Mexico, he'd look at you like you're crazy, because that's all super far away stuff. But all those have been insane experiences, and I've gone as far north in Maine as I think I can. I've gone further south in the continental Florida, and even just in our backyard at Treasure Valley, I've done some of the most amazing things. The memories I have, I won't ever be able to create memories like that again. And I tried to go through scouting not just worrying about getting the next rank or making sure that I was on track, because there was a few reminders, especially at the end, that I was dragging my feet. But with all the hard work I was doing and all the commitment and all the time it was taking, I made a point to myself making sure that throughout all of it I could sit and have fun. And looking back on it all, realizing that I was living in the moment ensures that those memories are never going to die, and that's better than any gift, any medal, any of it. Just the memories, whether it's looking at the storm that's about to hit us at 2 in the morning, roll in from a boat. Later that week when the ground was shaking from another storm, forgetting our throw bags and realizing at midday on the water, putting a cone on top of the shower house at Treasure Valley, or waking up and there being a duck on top of East Lodge. All of it, it's all a memory. The people I did it with, it's a memory with them. The biggest part of scouting for me has been creating confidence. As Mrs. Owen said, that I don't really like public speaking. It's not a thing I enjoy. I don't really volunteer for it a lot. But over the course of my scouting career, I've, for some reason, somehow become confident in my ability to just lead. I don't worry about it as much anymore. It's never as smooth or as to plan as I hope, but somehow it always gets done and no one ends up in the hospital. So it's a win for me. For my Eagle project, it was about 2.5 years from the first time it was an idea, first time I brought it up as an idea, to handing over the keys to Nemi. I wouldn't have been able to do it without people like Mr. Spur and Mr. Gill especially. I can't forget Mr. Oppenheim or Mr. Moriando too, because without their help, I really wouldn't have been able to do it. The Eagle Project is supposed to be Scout-led, and you can't do it. You're supposed to just lead it. And when you're building a shed and you're talking to people who have built sheds a lot longer than you have, the hardest part, except for it being 10 feet to the left, is making sure that you're actually leading it. And all those guys and everyone who came out to help, all the adults that I had to rely on, did a great job of making sure that I led it and I didn't just watch it happen. And definitely got some defined and well-renowned boot prints from Mr. Spur, Mr. Gill, Mr. Robillard, Mr. Lyons, Mr. Oppenheim, and probably the best type of boot print, because it was just a check-in, would be Mr. Icardi. But the two other boot prints that probably meant the most and that were different because they weren't just about my Eagle project were Mrs. Owen. I'd walk in on a Tuesday and it could be a crappy day, it could be freezing cold, snowy, I could have to go shovel after. But I walk in and I see her smile and it'd be this is a place to have fun and this is a place to make yourself better. And there were days where that was all I needed and it was enough. And then this one retains more specifically to my Eagle project, but well, not just my project, me getting Eagle in general. I owe almost all of it to my parents, but specifically my mom. So I want to give you this necklace. Please come up. And Dad, you were just kind of always there. And as annoying as it was when I'd wake up 6 a.m. on a Saturday after getting home at 2 the night before, you were like, sweet, let's go scouting. I'd roll my eyes and be like, all right. And somehow I always had fun. So the journey wouldn't have been the same without you, and I'm glad you could be there for it. And I want to recognize one other person, because it's not just the people in scouting or in your family, and it hasn't just been for me. This person's been in my life for the entirety of it. I've always looked up to them. They've always been a mentor and a role model, but they're more than just a role model and a mentor. I consider them a very close friend. I'd like to call up Chris Baker for the mentor pin. And I won't prick you on this one. So thank you again for all being here and celebrating with me this achievement and remembering my scouting career as a whole. It means a lot to me, and I'm really grateful all of you guys could be here to join me in it. Thank you.
Excellent job. Excellent job. Oh, look, your speech. I'm kidding. I'd now like to invite Jim Matarosa, interim senior pastor here at First Congregational Church, to provide the benediction.
It's a pleasure to be here. Chewy is in the youth group here, so I've gotten to know him since I've been here, since the summer of 2019. So it's an honor to draw this ceremony to a close. The Scout Law states that a scout is reverent, and I know that Matthew Manos Chewy Clark, now an Eagle Scout, is reverent and seeks to live according to his Christian faith. Chewy understands God above all to be the giver of spiritual guidance. Guidance he tries his best to follow. I also know that an Eagle Scout is a person of character And I know Chewy is a person of character. He is a man of persistence. He is a man of courage. He is loyal. He is kind and cheerful. Matthew seeks to serve his fellow human beings. Matthew hopes to inspire others to also serve. Therefore, O God, bless your servant Chewy with your guidance, wisdom, and grace. Bless his great achievement today. He will be an Eagle Scout for the rest of his life. Bless his future endeavors, his adventures, his challenges, and his triumphs. May he be a man for others, a man who loves his neighbor, a man who helps others achieve their potential. May your love and power, your mercy and peace rest upon Chewy all the days of his life. And now, as these proceedings come to a close, may God, the Creator, the Redeemer, and the Giver of life, the author of peace and the lover of goodness, bless all of you assembled here and all whom you love. Amen. Congratulations, Chewy.
Thank you. I now declare this Court of Honor to be closed. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Eagle Award Court of Honor and Award Ceremony. Thank you for coming. You're invited to join us in the reception hall for refreshments and the opportunity to congratulate Chewy. Luke? Where'd Luke go? There he is. Please take charge of the troop.
Everyone please rise. Color guard, retire the colors. Scout salute. Two. Troop dismissed.
When they cleared their papers, they walked back with it. Is that it? Is that it? It was between